Hello and welcome. So yeah, this is a video where I punch Jad with no prayers, right? Right? No, this is in the let's see, it's in the fight kiln in the beta server, and Jads aren't ready. They're not supposed to be ready, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. So there's a few things I want to say. Let's see, things to know about the beta. Prayers are only 50% effective now. So if you're gonna do so I'm going to highly suggest doing Fire Capes now where Protection Prayer is 100% and the Fight Kiln because, well, even if it's easier in the combat beta, you're still going to have to learn a whole new combat system. And even for me, that was awful annoying in the beginning. I had no idea what was what. It was really confusing. But it's easier for me now, but still, you have to learn a whole new combat system. And for those of you who say that the new combat system requires no skills, it's just button mashing, come at me. I challenge you to a one-on-one fight in the wilderness or duel arena. Wilderness is more realistic because then you actually lose your items, then you have to get them back. In the duel arena, people just risk it. It's not a real fight. And I would love a real challenge. And yeah. So if you think that the combat beta it has no skills required, I challenge you to fight me. Also, for those of you who are gonna be new at the combat beta, I have a beginner's guide. Shoot, I gotta. Okay, it's not gonna be the first link in the description. It'll be like a YouTube link because the first is actually the first two are gonna be links to. I did a log for Barrows. I did 150 tests comparing 1 KC to 5 KC, 10 KC, and I'll be doing like 20 and 25 later. I haven't had time to do it. But yeah, so it was just to compare how much does getting KC help you with runes? It doesn't help you with barrel items, but it helps you with runes. Then from that, I would be able to figure out how much KC is worth it until which case at what KC is the best to have, 1 KC or well, I'll say more about this later. And then the second one is, let's see, I did 500 tasks. I went to Kurdo, got her to assign me 500 tasks. I wrote them each of them down, averaged it out, and wrote them which is the most common, which is the least common, then which are the bad tasks for there's one for people who are the casual slayer who aren't going for XP, but they're just doing slayer. I know I did that for a while. It's something it's like it's more relaxed. Then there's people who are using cannons for the best XP, then people with cannons and high level titans like Iron Titan, Steel Titan, stuff like that. Then I would have a list for what task to ban and in what order because not everybody has access to like 6 bans. So I'll have a list of number one, two, three, and feel free to skip through them because it's just a suggestion. It's really up to you what you prefer. And yeah, there's I think I'm gonna ask you for feedback when I get to that part. For the feedback, it's mostly on what do you do when you're slaying? Is it gonna differ from the casual slayer or the people who are just going for XP? And what are your thoughts on it? Is it accurate? Is there something I'm not considering? Stuff like that. And the reason I'm asking is because I got 99 Slayer like ages ago, so there's some tasks I haven't done, and I had a list of like the best EXP tasks, and then I didn't have a list of what to ban, but I had a list of the good EXP tasks, and I would just stick to those. And I also don't, so I don't really know that much about Slayer because it's been such a long time. And I want this to be a very good guide, like on par with like my Fight Kiln guide. I want the guide to be highly accurate and well, it's got to be like it's practically a list. It's gonna be pretty easy to understand, but I want it to be understandable by most, and I wanted to include as much people as possible so that it helps more people. And the video itself will probably be an annotation video so that I could easily edit it so that it stays accurate over time. Also, there's gonna be like a link, and it's gonna keep up with. Well, yeah, you could either go to the video or the link below. It should be below. It should be like the first or second. It's a Google Docs link. It'll show all the data I collected and the list of what to ban and in what order. So for the next few clips, it's just me on, what was it, Wave 21, and I'm just using some AoE's area of effect attacks that are just kind of fun. And it turns out that they're still limited to 9 targets tops, which is just, you know, like Barrage, Chin, and you can just see how which monsters are hit. And I use Detonate, I think that's right. And this, there's a thing I've been thinking about this is that this could be very useful for like God Wars, because when you use it, you're not actually doing anything, but your adrenaline bar stays as what it is because you're still in combat. So this only works if you have a target, but you could just leave 1 minion, not kill it, and then use Detonate. Wait for whatever boss it is to spawn, and then when it spawns, everybody stops using Detonate. You'll explode, do that damage. It could hit like 1200s with magic, and then you start attacking the boss normally, and your adrenaline bar will still be fairly high. So what I notice is when a lot of monsters, their weakness, it is mostly crush. And I'm not sure if this is just the default. I clicked to attack Harkin earlier, or maybe it's later in the video. But when I clicked on it, the weakness is Crush, which is weird since it has very low magic defense. But I haven't tried melee on it yet, but I still think that magic is probably your best bet. Range probably won't do that too good, and you want to mage because you get to be in a corner rather in the middle where like practically 2 times as much tentacles can attack you. But of course, this is still only in the fight kiln in the beta. It's not ready yet. They're still focusing on stuff that are on the actual surface. Then they'll start with mini games, or that's what I think they're gonna do. So the reason I was in the fight kiln was I was working out a ability bar setup for the fight kiln. I've worked it pretty much out. There's still times when I'm using abilities and there just isn't any abilities that are available, so I added in some defensive ones that have a lower cooldown. The only problem I'm gonna find with the fight kiln is that Jads, when the combat beta is released, protection prayer is only 50% effective. So Jads are going to be able to hit through prayer. I'm not sure if their damage is going to be capped because 50% even through prayer is a lot. And on that note, I'm going to say they're making the Corporeal Beast harder on purpose because ideally it was supposed to be unsoloable, but yeah, obviously you can't solo it. And yeah, stuff has just been made the Corp too easy, so they're making it harder. And yeah, so you want to be doing Corporeal Beast now, it's up to you, but you want to do it now because Arcane's going up. Well, Divine and Elliot, they're still going down, but then the Corporeal Beast is going to be harder after the beta, so might as well get as much kills in as you can. Since Turmoil has been nerfed, you will probably see that other bosses are harder than they are now. So, yeah, those bosses, maybe you don't have to do them. Other thing is Dagannoth is worthwhile to do. A warrior ring is the best melee ring in the game, in the beta, and it's going to stay that way. Well, it should stay that way based on how many updates they've done. It's going to stay that way because warrior ring is specified only for melee. Berserker ring specifies in it's going to be the new Onyx ring. Onyx ring is worse than a Berserker ring. It shouldn't be that way. I like the Onyx ring being better, but oh well, it's going to be how it is. So that means Dagannoth Kings are going to be good money. Seers ring, best in its class. Archer's ring, best in its class. It's just that the Berserker ring is a hybrid between all three, and the combat specific rings are just going to be the best in its own field. Okay, so before I go into the second part of this video, I'm going to summarize what I said before. So if you think combat takes no skill, come fight me. I would suggest doing the fight kiln before the evolution of combat. It's much easier now, and you have to learn a whole new combat system. If you want a beginner's guide to the combat beta, I'll list it in the description. It should be a YouTube link. It should be like the third link in the description. I did a Barrows log of like 150 chests of 1kc, 5kc, and 10kc. It'll be later in this video. Also, Slayer log, I want your feedback later in the video. Bosses are being made harder, like the Corporeal Beast and other bosses. So you want to do them now. Arcane still Arcane is gonna have the effect of a divine, so it's going up in price. Anyway, DKs are profitable because the Berserker ring and Archer's ring, Warrior's ring, Seers ring, all that, they're gonna be the best rings in the game. Onyx ring is like it's a hybrid ring, but so is Berserker ring. It's how it is. But then the Berserker ring is better stats than the Onyx ring, which is weird, but it's how it is. So Berserker ring is gonna be the best for hybriding, so which is like next. Warrior ring is going to be best for melee only, which is so like Slayer. Seers ring, best for maging. Archer's ring, best for ranging. So I did a Barrows Log. I did 150 chest of each. I did 1 KC, 5 KC. This should be reading 10 KC. I'll fix this later. But like here is a summary of each. Like average, I averaged out 64 runes, 152 deaths. This is just an average per chest. Then I got the GE values. This is grabbed off the website. There's a code you could do for it to grab um, the price that it is in the actual website, so it updates automatically. So this should stay accurate for however long the website is up. And I couldn't grab Dragon Helm because it would grab the ornamental kit. So anyway, so with 1 KC I averaged 95k worth in items. With 5 KC, some reason it dropped to 85. I'm not sure why, and this should be reading 10 KC. With 10 KC it was about 87. Now this is only on 150 chests, but with the Ring of Wealth, I'm using Ring of Wealth, Mauritania task for more runes, and I killed 7 Barrow brothers. And I'm not entirely sure why after 1 KC it dropped. It could just be luck, but even with luck, there doesn't seem to be that big of a difference between getting more KC. Now, I haven't tried without a Ring of Wealth on. Without a Ring of Wealth, maybe there is a bigger difference. But seeing as people use Ring of Wealth anyway, because I don't know exactly what it does, but it just increases certain rate of drops. So I'm gonna try more KC later, like 20, 25, and see if there's a difference. If there isn't, this is really awfully weird. Anyway, so I also did another thing. I did Slayer task. Now this is, I went to Curdle. This is only Curdle. And like, I always wanted to notice because when training up to 99 Slayer, I had no idea what the frequency of certain tasks were. So, well, I did 500 tasks, and this is, I forgot to say, all the raw data is like all over here. It's like you keep going, 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 going. Yeah, that's if you want to see the raw data or copy it. So here I also have the raw data off to the side. This is this one's ordered by how frequent they came up. So most frequent on top, least frequent on the bottom. Now this is good for people like if you to know which one to ban and which one to not ban, because you'll ban the ones on top and the ones on the bottom you'll just cancel. And then here's just alphabetical order. And my mouse DC, so I'm using my other mouse right now. And yeah, so back to the top. This one is ordered by Slayer level because certain people can only do up to a certain task. So it wouldn't make sense for somebody to block, like say Abyssal Demons if they don't even have the level for it. So like say you are like level 80, you would block up to here, and down here I have it sorted by frequency, and so I just block 1, 2. Oh, I listed them like this is priority blocking. So you would first block this, that. If you don't want to block this, you just skip to the next one, number 5, and so on. So I have 3 different columns. They're sorted by this one is cash with no cannon. So this is for people who are doing casual slaying, and there are some money making tasks like dragons. Dragons are good money making tasks, and there could be a subcategory for this. Like there are people who do casual slaying, then there's slaying for cash. Some people do this, although even Abyssal Demons aren't that great anymore. But yeah, if you want like a subcategory here, please tell me in the comment section, because this is like a pre-video before the actual guide, because I know that there's going to be certain things I'm missing, because me myself, I usually just did power slaying just to get through it faster so I have more time to do other stuff. So I would be more this column right here, slaying for XP with a cannon. Then this is slaying for XP with a combat familiar. So this would be like people with iron or steel titan. So yeah, I am mostly in these 2 columns. I know I'm pretty sure on the facts, but for this, oops, wait, how do I click back? Got it. But for this column with cash no cannon, I'm not entirely sure. So I have Necreals banned because they're not great. They're low XP, and the drops, they're alchable drops here and there. Dark Beast, it's like what? It's a couple 100k Dark Bow, and it takes forever to kill. Not great Slayer XP either, and it just goes down and down. Dust Devils are optional, but for like if you're power slaying, just like ban them off your list because they come by pretty frequent. And then just down the list, I have some things in yellow. Oh, yes. Yes means just like do the task. The rest is in blue text, highlighted in yellow. These are like, this is yes, do this task, the Firewatch, only if you have the Blisterword Polearm, because it's a whole lot faster. And if you don't just like do the quest. For Jad, it's pretty good if you do it for Jad, but if you're killing Tazara monsters for this, for XP, if you're going for XP, it's not great. Then these are optional cancels. Merfolk Dragons, they're somewhat fast points. Same for, there's one down here, Pterodogs. These are optional to do. And Calphites, you could cancel them if you want, it's up to you. Wait, that should be, I'm not sure if they're good XP, I should check up on that. But yeah, so this is just like, I'm gonna do a guide on this, which is the best to ban, and it's gonna cater to many different people. So there's people who do casual slaying for the first column. I could add more columns if you want. Like, so there's people who are just doing like casual slaying. They're not using cannon. They're not going for the fastest XP, but I'm not sure how to explain it. They're just not using cannon. Then there's people who are using cannon, and there's people who are using cannon but have access to an iron or steel titan. Now the only difference with iron and steel titan is there's certain tasks that are good with a titan, and then there's some that are bad. These should be switched around. I'll fix that later. So I want to thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.